small. You know, I reckon this is one of those songs that eventually every guitarist comes across and thinks, wonder if I can play that on the guitar. Well, you can. We're going to have to arrange things a little bit. Capo on the 3rd fret, because the original is in the guitar unfriendly key of E flat, but with a capo here on the 3rd fret, we can play it as if we're in the key of C. And actually, you know, this boils down to a few, like 5 or 6 chords, really. But to do justice to the original piano arrangement, which, you know, is iconic and legendary and all that stuff, we're going to have to work to create something of the original character. So there's going to be quite a lot of inversions, by which I mean where we have a note in the bass that isn't the root, and a bit of root movement and a few nifty kind of in-between passing chords and so on. Now, I've tabbed out the intro that you just heard in full. It's just 8 bars, and there's nothing very special about it, but if we tab that out and work carefully through it, we'll come across quite a lot of the other bits and pieces that we can recycle then later on in the song. The whole song is this 8-bar intro. Then we've got 3 verses, all of which are substantially similar. At least at the beginning of each verse is a big chunk that, again, we can just recycle with 3 different endings. So let's get on and look at this intro first, and then we'll get on with the rest of the song. And as I say, once we've looked at this intro in some detail, the rest of it should more or less fall into place. Okay, so we're in C, and let's just get the chords sorted straight away. G6, open top string there, and that's what I want to hear on the melody. And then I've got my little finger coming down to the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. F, and I'm making sure the 2nd string is the top note of my chord there. Now I've got 2 beats of that, and then here comes the first slightly nifty chord. I'm going to lift off the top half of this shape to reveal the open 2nd string. That gives me an F with a B. Whoops. F sharp 11. So the B, that's the open 2nd string, is now the top note, and I get onto this. F sharp diminished, and now the 3rd string is the top note, so we get this. Okay. C over G, so it's a C with a G in the bass, but I'm really only playing the bottom 4 strings, and I'm beginning with a note on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and I might hammer that on like that. Then I've got this, I'm calling it A7 over C sharp. It's really just these 2 notes, 4th fret of the 5th string, 2nd fret of the 4th string, going up to the open 3rd string, and then I'm opening up the 5th string. Now back to F, and now it's F minor, so I'm getting rid of that 2nd finger. I'm also putting that little finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And the final thing here for that F is I'm going to slide up from the 3rd to the 5th fret of the 2nd string. And I'm onto the C chord. So that's the first half of the intro. Let's just have that slowly with the picking. I mean, you can see from the tab, but I've got this. And now it's essentially C for a bar, F for a bar, C for a bar, F for a bar. Now on the original, the piano part, da, 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 onto the F, we can do that. I'm doing that. 5th fret on the 2nd and 4th, 3rd fret on the 2nd and 4th, and then the standard position for the C chord on the 2nd and 4th, the 1st fret and 2nd fret there. In 6th. F. On the original, that little rundown in the piano is actually an octave lower, and if you wanted to do that, you could do, there's a G, 3rd fret on the bottom string, E, 2nd fret on the 4th string, F, 1st fret of the bottom string, D, open 4th string, and then finally E, open bottom string, this is right at the bottom of the range, E on the open bottom string, and C on the 3rd fret on the 5th string. So you'd have this, rather than, I mean, you'll work that out for yourself. Onto F. And on the original, we have this little arpeggio. And it just so happens that if you bar, this is slightly unusual, a C chord shape, but on the 5th fret, and play each of the top 5 strings in reverse order, you get exactly that. So from the C, we get this. And then back to C. Same rundown again, whichever way you play that. We finish with F for 2 beats, and then I'm going to go back here for my little C-type bar chord, which is unusual, but just the top 4, and that gives me that little arpeggio at the top. That sets us off for the verse, and that's the whole of the intro done. So one time, if I can, all the way through the intro. And we're into the verse. So there are 3 verses, and they're all pretty long. I've just counted the first verse, 28 bars long, I think, but the first 20 bars or so are identical in all 3 verses. So we just need to focus, once we've got this first verse done, we need to focus on the difference between them. That's the ending each time. And I'm just going to hack through the chords. Sometimes it's going to pay for us to put a different note in the bass than the normal root note, to play an inversion or a slash chord. That's going to give us a bit more of the feel of the original. And we start off with a bar of C and a bar of F and a bar of C and a bar of F. When you're weary. But the F chord, I'm going to keep the C in the bass. So I'm just going to do this. This is a simple F, and F, if you're not too keen on bar chords, you can play this anyway as an F chord. It's like a C, but you're going to move the 2nd finger from the 4th string to the 3rd string onto the 2nd fret, and that little finger is going to tuck in behind there on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. That's going to give us an F with a C in the bass. When you're weary, feeling small, back to C. Okay, in terms of the strumming, I'm actually just picking like the middle 4 strings at the moment with a bit of a backbeat, percussive, bring my hand back down like this kind of thing. I might strum a bit later, I might even pick, but for now this gives me something fairly solid and simple rhythmically. And if I just want to strum across a couple of strings, maybe we'll get some hammer-ons in, that kind of a thing. When you're weary, feeling small. Now it's a proper F. And this time we interrupt the F when tears with a B flat. And I'm just bringing my 3rd finger across, barring across the 2nd, 3rd and 4th strings at the 3rd fret for a single beat. When tears are... Okay, and just before that, if you want it, this is in the original piano part, it might be a detail too many, but at the end of the 3rd bar, I've just got this, a little bit of a B flat chord with a D in the bass. So the first 4 bars are going to be like this. When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are... Okay, now it's a C with a G in the bass, and the piano plays a major 7 there. So either put that finger on or take it off to get the major 7. I might do both. When tears are in your eyes. Now it's that same F chord, but this time with an open 5th string. I'll dry them all. Now it's 2 bars with C for 2 and F for 2. Okay, Okay, and in fact, what happens in the second of those two bars? I'll try them all. 1, 2. We get onto the F on 2 and. So 1.5 beats of C, 1, 2, and. That gives us time to do, if you want this, a little rundown here, which I'm just notating above the strums. F and A, that's 3rd fret on the 4th, 2nd fret on the 3rd. E and G, 2nd fret on the 4th, open 3rd. And then D and F, 5th fret on the 5th, 3rd fret on the 4th. Those are just thirds into the next C. I'll try them all. I'm on your side. Now essentially we move on to a G. I'm on your side. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to put my little finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string like we did in the intro for G, so that I can get And talking of Paul Simon, you'll see this in Scarborough Fair, and Feeling Groovy, it's also in there. So if I make sure the top note of the C chord is the open top string, then for the G over B that I'm playing here, it's the 3rd fret of the 2nd, then the A minor, the top note is the 1st fret of the 2nd, and then for G, I've got this again, I could come down to the open 2nd string. I'm on your side, but that just echoes exactly the melody. I've got my G there, all right. On the 4th beat of that, I'm going to keep that shape, but I'm also going to add the open top string for G6, and then I'm going to add the 1st finger on the 1st fret of the top string for G7. All right, so all of that. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough. Okay, we're getting there. C. Now we get 2 bars of C, and the bass line moves down, works down every 2 beats, it goes down a fret. Like that, okay? Oh, when darkness comes rough, whatever it is. Okay? And friends just... Now, this is too high for me, it's fine, you know that. But whenever the vocal, friends just, or like her, whenever this happens, we can echo that with a C7, open top string, and then a C9 where I catch the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Friends just can't. Onto an F, followed by D over F sharp. We'll go through this again in a moment. I know it's quite a lot, but it's a very long verse. So D over F sharp. I'm not bothering with the top string. I could do. I don't really want the brightness of that top string, so I'm just limiting that to the bottom 5 strings to G. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found. Now another one, like a F bridge, and at this point we borrow from the intro. Bridge over troubled water. And I'm playing A7 sus4, so with a D in it to A7, to F. I will lay me down. F. Then the shape that we just had for D over F sharp, I'm going to move it up 2 frets to E over G sharp, and with the open 4th string there, I've actually got E7 over G sharp. I will lay me down. One more of these high ones, like a bridge, and our sharp 11 over troubled water. So you can see how much repetition there is. We're very nearly finished with the first verse now. I will lay me down. So I'm just playing a G chord, putting a first finger on the first fret of the second string, taking it off the G7, or G at least, and C. We're pretty much there. Then it's just a bunch of Fs and Cs to finish off that verse. I will lay me down. If I'm not playing the top string, I'm not hearing that note there. That's the note that means it's a G7. That note, that's G and that's G7. So I might want to fill in somewhere else. And if I put my little finger on the third fret of the fourth string, then I've got the 7-y bit. That's the F on the third fret of the fourth string. Okay. I will lay me down. And then whatever you want to do. I've got nothing special for this bit, but it's just F to C 3 times. When you're down and out, and we're into the second verse. When you're on the street, and as I said before, that bit is exactly the same. Now, when we have a playthrough of the complete song, I'm not going to be singing this. It's way too high. It goes up eventually to an A flat, and F is kind of about the top of it for me. I have to breathe through to get the G at the top of this. But let's give this a go for now. Let's not worry too much about my singing. When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I'll dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled waters. I will lay me down. You'd be surprised, actually the original goes a little bit faster than this, which kind of feels weird. After you've heard this, hear the original and you'll see that actually we're playing this quite slowly. Anyway, the second verse is a bit different. After the second, troubled water, because the lyrics to the first bit are different each time, but then we revert to the like a bridge over troubled waters. I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. Now it's different. Okay, we get this. F. I will lay me down. It goes to A minor. And the A minor is in 8, so duck, 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 duck. You're going to play those, I reckon. To D over F sharp. We get this quite insistent thing here, da, 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 in the original. But what actually happens is the note on the third string, which is an A, goes to the first fret, G sharp, and then is open third string for the G, and it's 3 on the A minor, then 3 on the A minor with G sharp, so that's A minor major 7, and then 2 on the A minor 7. I will lay me down to this D over F sharp. However you want to do that, but I'm just going to pick through the D over F sharp in 8ths like that. And then we get something that's very similar to the intro. So I'm going to steal stuff from the intro for that where I can. And then it's just C, F, C, F, C, F. Three of those. I'm not going to bother playing all those through. You know what C and F looks like and what it sounds like. And that's the only difference then between the first verse and the second verse. So I'm just going to play you getting into that bit. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Like a bridge over troubled water. Here we go. I will lay me down. On the original we get the bass coming in and drums and strings and all that big echoey stuff, which I'm not going to do. I've just got the piano. I've actually transcribed every note of the original piano part just to kind of see. It was a voyage of discovery. Bit of a waste of time, but also a lot of fun, and we'll have that along with the guitar in the backing track when we go for the full playthrough in a moment. All right, that's that. The third verse again is exactly the same. Sail on, silver girl, all that stuff. What happens now is we actually exit that familiar sequence a little bit earlier on like the very first bit of like we go into what is effectively the outro. So let's just cover that and then we'll be done. I mean, I wish I could find a way of making this simpler, just breaking it down, but this is all I've got. Okay, like now for the third time we get to F again, and this time instead of a D over F sharp or the F sharp diminished or whatever, I'm actually going to do this because this is in the piano. It's so slightly different, it's almost not worth worrying about. But if you were to play a B7 like that rather, and then put your second finger on the second fret of the bottom string, I've got B7 over F sharp, and that actually matches the notes we've got in the original piano part. So like a bridge over troubled water, nothing new here. F, I will lay me down. Last one, like a bridge over troubled water. F, and again we get E7, but this time we actually have the E in the bass finally. I will lay me down. One, two, F minor, and finish. And that's the whole thing. Okay, so that wasn't so bad, that last little bit. Let me just give you, if you can bear it, that last little bit of the third verse then, as we go into the outro. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down. Pick this as you like. Have a good listen to the original and you'll hear what's happening there. And then I've got nothing better to do than just play a plain old C chord to finish. And that, you'll be glad to hear, is everything. All right, let's have a playthrough. Wish me luck. 1, 2, 3. That's it.